happening, Holmes? I need an explanation.
It's quite simple. I created a distraction so that I could tell you something important, and in turn, I need you to acquire something important for me.
How can you call any of this charade simple?
Watson, we can discuss this later. Time is of the utmost importance. The kidnapped people may still be here. This is what I know so far.
What? You really found all this on your own?
Focus, Watson. I need you to find a key. It will be most unique. All the details are in my notes. Logic dictates that Gygax will keep it near her. Once acquired, you must get it to me. Perhaps the kitchen dumbwaiter could be of use.
Holmes, I can't do this. I'm no spy.
Yes, you can, Watson. You are unfailingly dependable.
Dr. Watson, visitors are not permitted back here.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Kuntz. After the war, my nerves, I fled all that commotion.
It is nothing. A patient attempted to escape. He will not get far. Now, if you would like to follow me.
Blood in the water. Someone must have washed their hands here recently. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes? The only reason to hang something this harrowing here would be to create another patient. Perhaps I should take this. For all I hope it won't be needed. Did a child make these?
Ah, Dr. Watson. Just the man I wanted to see.
Professor, I'm surprised you're not trying to catch that escapee.
Please, my time is far too valuable. I hope Nurse Kuntz has been taking good care of you.
He has certainly kept me out of trouble.
Professor, it is time for your appointment with your next patient, Mr. Wolf.
Herr Wolf can wait until tomorrow. I wish to speak with Dr. Watson.
As you wish.
You still see patients yourself, even as the director of this entire facility?
Only the important ones. And yet I rarely get to pick the brain of a man like yourself. I think it is time we got to know each other, no?
I'm afraid there's not much to know. I'm just an average chap living a rather prosaic life these days.
Dr. Watson, those of us who pursue knowledge are anything but average. Now, who are you?
In truth, I want to be a writer. Yet, I often struggle to put pen to paper, to write anything that doesn't seem dull or hackneyed. So when I read about the Black Edelweiss and your work on the healing of minds, I simply had to learn more.
I suppose my Edelweiss was always destined to attract other curious minds. But before we continue, I want you to understand one thing. A broken mind can never be truly healed.
Ah, I see. So, what exactly do you do here?
It is simple. If you cannot fix a person's nature, you must force them to forget it.
Surely there are other methods of treatment.
How naive. You remind me of a man I once knew, Professor Becker. But we do not speak of him anymore.
A colleague?
The former director here. One day he realized that Edelweiss had outgrown him and had to leave. Do you grow weary of me already, Doctor?
I was simply admiring your office, Professor. Apologies.
While I am pleased you appreciate its practicality and appearance, we were discussing bigger things. Was my conversation boring you?
No, not at all. I merely...
No, I understand full well. You're not seeking conversation?
What do you mean?
It is obvious. Your mind craves truth, but not in this form. You must witness a practical demonstration if you are to learn.
I'm certainly intrigued. Would that be possible?
Of course. I propose a journey between the jury of the human brain. You will not leave without being truly enlightened. Kuntz, take Dr. Watson back to the courtyard. Then tell the nurses to prepare the operation room and the girl with the doll.
Yes, Professor.
Our preparations will take a little time. I will come for you soon, Doctor.
A visitor? No, you shouldn't have come here.
Give it to me. No, I don't want to. Why not?
Did you see my son? He's such a sweet boy.
I don't want to guard block B tonight.
I want them to fly!
Miss?
Too bad my parents had to leave so soon. I haven't seen them for months. When people shout, Professor Gygax says I can return home as soon as I'm better. I miss home so much. I miss home so much.
Struggling to remember something. It's something familiar. If only I could place it. I must think. Maybe if I write another poem, I will remember. Why does my mind play such tricks on me? Why does my mind play such tricks on me?
This area is off limits. A patient has escaped.
Did you hear that a patient escaped? All the guards rushed off to find
Looks
him.
dusty but functional.
Oh, we never use that. I think it connects somewhere downstairs.
Looks dusty but functional.
I hope everything is to your liking, Dr. Watson. We rarely have visitors here.
Blood in the water. Someone must have washed their hands here recently. Photograph seems recent. A commemorative photo album. Been a while since I've been in one of these. Good Lord, that's a lot of records.
I hope you're finding your room comfortable, Dr. Watson.
I can't just leave Holmes here alone.
I wonder how Edelweiss compares to your clinics in England.
I suppose it will be one less Andre Traumar to treat if he dies out there. One time, it took them 5 days to find the patient. They found him frozen in the snow. I heard his arm snapped right off. If anything else goes wrong tonight, we'll be all out of stuff. If anything else goes wrong tonight, we'll be all out of stuff.
You are Mr. Wolf, am I right?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
My name is Dr. John Watson. I wanted to talk with you, if you didn't mind.
Ah, doctor. I don't suppose you could help. I seem to have forgotten where I am.
We're in the Black Edelweiss, Mr. Wolf. It's an asylum in Switzerland, and you are one of its most important patients.
But why am I here?
That's what I was about to ask you.
I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember anything.
It's all right. You don't need to push. Try to relax. Let the thoughts come and go. Now, what comes to mind? Mr. Wolf?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
We just went over this.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we've met.
We were just discussing this facility, the Black Edelweiss Asylum, and why you are here.
That name does sound familiar.
Holmes, the things I do for you.
Excuse me, who are you? And who's this Holmes fellow?
I am Dr. Watson, and Holmes is, well, you could call him my imaginary friend. That's just a little joke, don't mind me.
But why am I here, doctor? Am I sick?
I'm sure I can take a look. Dear Lord, what did Gygax do to you?
Excuse me, who are you?
Oh, never mind.
Excuse me, who are you?
I don't know why I keep doing this, expecting something different. Hello again. You won't remember me, but we've met before. I am Dr. John Watson, and you are Professor Becker. You were the previous director of this facility, the Black Edelweiss.
Professor, really? Actually, that name does sound familiar. Wait. Let me write it down. I try to recall memories through writing, but they always feel just out of reach.
As a matter of fact, I have more for you to jot down.
Oh, yes. Yes, please, anything.
Professor Gygax did this to you. She made you forget everything, even who you are. But we will play a trick on her. We will write a letter so that she learns her lesson. Put down what I dictate. Dear Professor Gygax, your vile work has ruined countless lives through needless suffering. Your methods serve nothing but to show your own sick emotional state. You are not, as you so claimed, the future of the Edelweiss, and you never were. And by the time you make it to my cell, the police will already know the truth of how you came to be director of this asylum. Signed, Professor Becker.
There. It's done. Now, hold on a minute. Who are you?
My name is John Watson. I'm a doctor from London, a veteran of Afghanistan, and I wish to be a writer, though deep down I fear I lack the talent. And presently I'm risking my life to help my brilliant detective flatmate in the pursuit of a cult of kidnappers, even as I fear it may destroy him. I'm tired and hungry, and I have not had a good bath in weeks, and yet despite it all, I feel alive. Any more questions?
Good heavens, sir! You're as mad as they come! You really are a strange man. Have you ever been mentally examined?
One of the patients asked me to deliver this note. It's for Professor Gygax.
Thank you, Doctor. Leave it with me. A letter for you.
Unbelievable. Kunz, with me.
Nothing special about this. Close, but I don't think this is the key. This is too small to be what Holmes asked for. an Edelweiss relief about 2 inches in diameter. This must be what Holmes was after.
Tooth of an adult male, likely lost in a beating. Only a couple of days old. The inside of the cuff is worn. It's been used often. A wax cylinder. There is something recorded on it. The writing is mostly gone. Phonetic symbols, perhaps.
trophy.
Looks as if it's been recently used.
Oh, the smell.
Judging by the remnants of blood and flesh, these instruments were used for dismemberment. Dear God, is that body parts? Utterly inhuman. Dynamo machine. Provides electrical stimulation for the person in the chair. Full-grain leather straps. Impossible to escape. A very professional brain dissection. A very professional brain dissection.
Get out of my head!
Your mind festers, devoid of soul. Find reverence for the one that trembled.
Great Lord!
Left your splinter your soul, and become a servant of madness.
Please! No more! Stop it! Watson! John! Somebody!
Wretched mortal, do not fear what is to come. Let him rupture our world anew. Awaken! And let go.
Awaken and...
The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Get out of my head. hydraulic elevator. How ingenious. Watson?
Holmes?
What are you still doing here?
Still? I was trying to find more information. Did you think I was just going to sit in my room twiddling my thumbs?
I only asked you to find the key. I had everything else under control.
Says the man who looks like he saw a ghost.
I'm fine, Watson.
You're hardly fine. You reek of congealed blood and chemicals. What did you see down there?
Never mind me. Where's Gygax?
I'm afraid she's over there. I found her like that when I entered, on my word.
What? She was our biggest lead.
Yet another wrinkle in our investigation. What do we do now, Holmes?
Hush. Let me think.
Alright. We know that was Professor Becker for sure.
The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The patients here wear the same robes.
I had nothing to do with this, Holmes. I swear it.
Heidi, how did it end up here?
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next. We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't suppose you've ever been to New Orleans?
You are joking.
I seldom do. Let's go. There's no time to waste. There's nothing in this world that cannot be explained with logic and reason. Nothing in this world.
Holmes?
Hmm?
You seem troubled.
I'm not troubled, Watson. I am preoccupied.
That place was awful. Inhumane. It would be natural to experience some feelings of shock or fear.
Men reduced to gibbering imbeciles, numb beyond recognition, powerless to help themselves. When a doctor does go wrong, they are the first of criminals. They have the nerve and they have the knowledge.
That woman did not deserve the title. Such casual cruelty for such selfish aims.
I knew another man like that once. He treated my mother, perhaps even killed her, depending on who you ask.
My sincere condolences.
In the end, she was just a shadow of herself. The outline of the person I recognized, but lacking all else. She was pushed until she cracked. Should you see me cracking, John, I must ask you to intervene.
Nothing compels us to pursue this matter further, Sherlock. We can return to London, report what we have discovered. Let more capable hands take over.
Alas, there are no such hands. Were we to abandon our quest now, I fear no other would succeed in our stead.
We know nothing of what awaits. What dangers lurk in the darkness?
Nonsense. We draw nearer to New Orleans with every passing minute, and thus closer to the answers we seek. Those answers, for all their perversity and improbability, will, nevertheless, be the work of men. And that is a work I have studied well.
So be it.
I know you to be a diligent author, but if I may make one request. kindly omit my mother and her suffering from your tale?
Of course.
Thank you, John.
Ah, Holmes. After our trip to nippy Switzerland, I can certainly use some of this New World eat.
Do not get carried away, Watson. What we could certainly use are answers to my questions.
I know, but you look exhausted. Why don't we find the hotel first?
We shall rest when our investigation is over, and not a moment sooner. I shall ask you to handle our bags while I search for the bank.
As you wish. Oi! Stop it, you! Our luggage! Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister. It was an accident.
Ah, not an auspicious start, is it? Never mind. I'll handle it. You go on ahead.
Do you know anything about this?
Ah, I know this. Yeah, let me help you.
Yeah.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm so sorry. I can't be of help.
Help me, please.
Can't say I've ever heard about that.
Yes, really not very happy with them.
Opposite Chinatown. God, this game.
Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray.
Where you at, gentlemen? Here to enjoy yourselves? Come on, don't be shy. We have something for everyone. Why not start with a drink and see where things take you? My girls don't talk. Your wives will never know. My girls don't talk. Your wives will never know.
Our ship leaves tomorrow morning. No room for sightseeing then. More people missing here, too.
Ah, Chinatown. There we go.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction's about to start.
In the flesh. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Well, hold up. Written invitation first.
Can I present another piece of identification?
Nope. That's why we send the invitation. Move along, mister. Ain't nothing here for you.
Holmes, over here. Any luck?
None. They're holding an auction, invitation only. The good news is, I know who might have one. We need to find Mr. Barnaby.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed. Those lanterns are delightful. It is as though we have been transported to the Orient itself. Could you help me?
I think I can be of help.
Locked. No one's here. Locked. No one's here. Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn. He at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
Are you able to help me?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place has a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but it reminds me of Cordona in a nice way.
I know.
Could you help me?
What makes you think I can be of any help?
Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic. Eureka! What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank, not as yourself, but as Frank Barnaby.
Holmes, we look nothing alike.
The hat and coat will do the heavy lifting. Just stay cool, play the part, and no one will notice the difference. Trust me.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's my cash, Frank? In the bartender's tip jar?
You look great, Watson. The guard has myopia. You'll walk right through.
Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are. Shop owner.
Right. Your invitation, sir?
Here you go.
You okay, sir? Seem to have the jumps.
I'm in a rush.
Come on in.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have them.
They're so black, it's like they absorb light. Rather hypnotic.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with another client's request. Please wait a moment.
This might be useful. I'll make a note.
morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House. The auction will begin shortly. Name's Zoe Clemens, and I'd be delighted to help you.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Clemens. I am Frank Barnaby. I do have some questions, if you don't mind. Forgive my curiosity, but who was the previous owner?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to disclose them details.
These gems are rather curious. What can you tell me about them?
These rare beauties are black opals, all the way from Coober Pedy, South Australia. When they catch the light, the dark stone becomes a brilliant rainbow. It's something special.
It doesn't say where these stones came from. No provenance, no previous owner. I'm starting to suspect they were illegally procured.
What? We would never. I can assure you these gems were bought from one of New Orleans' most upstanding citizens, a philanthropist no less. If you would like to know more, I could get my manager.
You old dog, Barnaby. Didn't think you'd sober up for the auction. An hour ago, you were 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, you know, I hold my liquor better than most. And the auction was an important business opportunity.
An important business opportunity? Ha! What have you done with the real Barnaby?
Well, maybe I'm drunker than I thought, mister.
Mister? What's wrong, Frank? You're looking pale. Don't you recognize your old pal, Grub?
No.
Of course I know you, Sheriff.
Good. Now, while I have you, there's the matter of your outstanding fines. I've been more than reasonable, but I'm afraid the bills come due.
Fines? Right. I'm afraid I don't have anything on me.
That's funny. Ain't you at the auction? I weren't born yesterday, Frank. Now, assault, battery, disorderly conduct, that's serious stuff. You got off easy, but if you don't pay up, things get a whole lot worse.
Look, Sheriff, I'm not actually...
Whoa. Think careful now, 'cause Frank Barnaby only owes us cash. But fraud, impersonation, that's weasel behavior. And you know what we do to weasels round these parts. Feed 'em to the gators. So, Frank, what's it gonna be?
Here's all I have.
Mighty fine of you. The people of this parish deserve peace. They don't take kindly to visitors. Don't miss that boat tomorrow morning, Doctor.
I told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. Now we're penniless and wanted criminals.
Hysteria gets us nowhere, Watson. Tell me what happened.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed.
You know, I think the look actually compliments you. Why bother changing it?
Always a pleasure to see you regular, Mr. Barnaby. Welcome home.
Forget the sheriff. I'm sure it was simply bluster and bloviation.
Perhaps you'd like someone new today, Frank. How about Miss Trixie or Joni?
A pox on the crew. Just tell me what you've learned. Okay, fine. Change your clothes. We'll talk afterwards. And I thought I was the vain one. Okay, fine. Change your clothes. We'll talk afterwards. And I thought I was the vain one.
A pox on the crew.
Okay, fine. Change your clothes. We'll talk afterwards. And I thought I was the vain one.
A pox on the crew.
No, no! Was that your luggage again? I don't understand. We just got it back in order. It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
Okay, fine. Change your clothes. We'll talk afterwards. And I thought I was the vain one.
How am I gonna fish him out? Anyone got a net? I know how this looks. Twice in one day.
A pox on the crew.
Okay, fine. Change your clothes. We'll talk afterwards. And I thought I was the vain one.
I know how this looks. Twice in one day. What are the chances?
Oh, bollocks, now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something real hairy to have him chuck your luggage off the pier.
With respect, miss, have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John. I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already made an enemy in Sheriff Grubb. The man starves his gators just in case someone crosses him. John who?
Watson.
Well, Johnny, if you plan on sticking around, you better change that suit, or Frank's reputation will catch up with you. And then you'll be a John Doe.
Alas, I think one of those gators is currently devouring my spare clothes.
You've got yourself in a fine pickle. All right, come on board the Nymph of Louisiana, and I'll sort you something to wear.
The Nymph? Is that what it sounds like? Why are you helping me?
Well, let's just say you ain't the only one who's had run-ins with the sheriff. Way I see it, this city deserves better. Now quit your stalling and head on over to the Nymph. I'll be in room 6.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the Nymph.
Frank, darling, I'm flattered, but you know I'm out of the game.
Well, look at you. All dressed up with nowhere to go.
I can't thank you enough. As I was saying, our journey has hardly gone to plan. We seem no closer to finding our missing people than when we left.
Well, if there were anything to know, Champagne will know it. She's across everything in New Orleans. Look for her in the fisherman's village behind the Creole Quarter.
Thank you again, Lucy. I shall make my way there now.
Good luck, Johnny. Keep out of trouble.
So it seems...
Forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes,
Okay,
Holmes,
fine.
maybe you
Change
can
your
explain
clothes,
why you
we'll
used to
talk
roll
afterwards.
just one sleeve
And I
up.
thought
Did
I
you
was
get
the vain
bored
one.
halfway through? I feel much better in this suit, even if it is not mine. Lucy told me to find Champagne and avoid the sheriff. She has been truly generous.
Excuse me, just one question.
I'm bone-tied, but yeah, I'll help you.
Tocqueville? Lafayette! Hush now. No offense, Sheriff. Them two don't take kindly to gents. Especially foreigners. How can champagne help you? Trip to the bayou? Feeding a huge crocodile?
Some other time, perhaps. Word has it, you know everything that goes on round these parts.
Maybe. Maybe not. What you want to know?
The bank in town recently purchased a valuable collection of gemstones from a wealthy man. What do you know of it?
Sure. I hear everything. This time I tell you for free. Next time, you pay.
Thank you.
May have been 1, 2 weeks ago. Rich man's butler sold him some black opals.
And this rich man is?
Don't know his name, only that he from the French Quarter. Folk back in town could take you there. That's all I know. You need a boat? I hire 'em out for dollars. Or a bottle of you-know-what.
Thank you for the offer and the help.
Careful. Nolans may look welcoming, but not every smile is friendly. You can look at my dogs, but don't touch them.
I think I will avoid putting hands in pockets. I shudder to think what one may find.
May I ask for your assistance?
I'm bone-tied, but yeah, I'll help you. Got a spot in mind.
French Quarter, and get us there fast. You know, Watson, the opulent mansions and stifling heat remind me of my time in the Mediterranean.
Corona does sound rather magical. Do you think you shall ever return?
I don't know. That place was home to some of my greatest memories and some of my lowest moments. May I ask you something?
I'm bone-tied, but yeah, I'll help you.
I'm not used to... warmth and humidity. Hopefully our Arneson has a shady garden.
Lord, help me.
Excuse me, miss. Are you all right? What is your name?
Eula, sir.
Waiting for someone, Eula?
Yes, sir. My brother Davy. He works for Mr. Arneson in that mansion yonder. Been 5 days now since I last heard from him.
Come now, why all the tears?
Something happened to Davy. I feel it in my bones.
Do you think he may have left the premises?
No, sir. Davy, he ain't like you and me. He's smart in some ways, but he can't talk. Not a word. He's pure and kind.
Fear not. We will look for your brother. One presumes this gate is locked. Is there any other way inside?
There's another entrance through the stables you could try. That's where I meet Davy normally, but I couldn't get in. See, I couldn't find the key. It wasn't in its usual spot. Please hurry, sir. Find him for me.
Wow.
No way in. I rather wish my lockpicks had not been lost in the river.
Along with all our clothes, books, tea. So quiet. Yet I doubt there was peace around here.
This must be the key to the stables. Poor animal has been suffering for days.
It's dehydrated, Holmes. Without water, it will die.
Cayenne pepper. Half empty. Or as Watson would say, half full.
So quiet. Yet I doubt there was peace.
Mr. Arneson's cab is still here. Poor animal has been suffering for days. This might be useful. well has been suffering for days.
At least that's one life saved. Could we be walking into a trap?
You did it. You're inside? Have you seen Davy?
Not yet, miss.
Please,
but we are on
Lord,
it.
protect my... Please, look for my little brother.
No way in. There's blood here.
Ah, do you smell that, Holmes? Something bad happened here.
I know. Be prepared for anything. Watson, would you please lend me your medical expertise?
I'll do my best.
Make it quick. There's no time to waste.
An enormous blow shattered her ribcage. Extremely sharp and deadly. Blooded, broken nails. The poor woman tried to put up a fight. A wound like this could only be dealt by a man of incredible strength.
And cruelty. Why does it look so familiar? Tea for two. An odd glimpse of normalcy amid the horror. A used kitchen towel. I will need your help one more time, Doctor.
His corneas are already clouded. A deep stab reached the man's heart. Clean edges suggest a sharp blade, but the wound is too wide for an ordinary knife. The hand can bend freely. Rigor mortis has passed. Hay on his trousers suggests a gardener or groom. This man has been dead for a week. The result of a sharp object piercing his heart.
You are mostly right. But I would bet he died 5 days ago. Heat and humidity will have accelerated the decomposition. burnt papers, now completely unreadable. The bent end of this candlestick has blood on it. The candle was burning when it fell. A trail of wax leads to the door. Someone smaller walked over these boot prints. A few drops of blood, but not from a mortal wound. Someone was bleeding, but it doesn't look lethal. Mr. Arneson with his prey.
What horrors happened here? This place sets my teeth on edge, Holmes.
Dashing portrait of Mr. Arneson. A dull book about local geology. Even I'd struggle.
what I wouldn't give for a nice bath right now, Holmes. Today started poorly and went downhill from there.
Note the blade, Watson.
A curved dagger, probably of Persian or Indian origin. 9 or 10 inches, I'd say.
Arneson and Davy seem to have got along well. He looks more like a son than a servant. Arneson and Davy, 1881. New Pied Piper. Foreigners missing in New Orleans. Fauna of Louisiana. Full of things that bite, no doubt. An intruder entered through the back door at night, leaving mud traces in the hallway. Without being noticed, they picked up a candlestick and struck the man in the chair from behind. In the kitchen, 2 people were drinking tea, the workman and cook. They were startled by the noise of a falling body and went to investigate the parlor. The workman tried to subdue the intruder, but was stabbed by the attacker's knife. Judging by the wound, it was a curved blade. The cook panicked and fled back to the kitchen. The intruder followed, but since their blade was stuck in the workman, they used the meat cleaver on the table to kill her. Someone smaller arrived and discovered the carnage. They dropped the candlestick in horror and ran for safety to a room down the hallway. Meanwhile, the intruder returned to his first victim and dragged their stunned body away from the fireplace and out into the garden. Davy, please open the door.
After all this, Holmes, I doubt the young man would open the door to a stranger. The sooner we get what we need, the sooner we can leave this horrible place.
Davy, please open the door.
The sooner we get what we need, the sooner we can leave this horrible place.
No way in.
Watson, quick! Get it up.
Ligature marks on her neck. There'll be a bruise, but she should be okay.
Doctor? Watson, speak to me. How is she?
We were just in time, Holmes. Eula is stable, but lucky to be alive. We should take her to a hospital for a further examination.
Yes. I fear I was wrong, Watson. The sheriff is not a man to be underestimated. To lynch an innocent woman just to send a message, it's evil. We're not safe in this city, nor is anyone around us.
Then we must not dawdle. Help me get Eula to her feet.
No, no. I will not leave here without Davy.
Miss, please, we must get you help.
No, I will not be deterred. I will get my brother and bring him home.
If my deductions are correct, Davy lies behind this door. He ought to be unhurt, but is no doubt shaken.
Davy. Davy, you there?
Davy, we understand what you witnessed before. It's safe now. You're safe. Please, let us in. Your sister wants to see you.
Everything will be all right. I promise.
Yeah, them gentlemen speak the truth. Just open the door. Big sister's here for you. Davy! Oh, come here, you! Thanks, sirs. Lord bless your souls.
Let me examine him, miss. I want to make sure he is unharmed.
Remember, he may be mute, but he still understands you.
Davy seems in good health. The bruise is a remnant of that awful night, perhaps even caused by the intruder, but he is otherwise unharmed. In fact, I believe life here was good for the boy.
Arneson and the others cared for Davy. That may have allowed him to withstand such horrors. I need your help, Davy. We know that the man with the curved dagger is responsible for all this. You recognized the man, yes? The same one in the photograph in the office upstairs, standing with Arneson. Good. Please, write his name. And one last thing. The room with an image of a bell on its door may hold important answers. Do you know a way in? Yes. I think I've got it. You have been very helpful, Davy.
Oh, Davy. Things you must have gone through.
Davy is calm and collected despite enduring all these horrors. An impressive young man.
Let's take a closer look. These should come in handy. dense and disturbing notes. It's hard to follow. The scene is impossible, unnatural, but also familiar. A foreigner's clothes, by the looks of things from the Near East. A black opal, cut and polished, easy to sell.
Who's that? Oh yeah. For real? No idea. Oh yeah, you scout some talent. Nah, them people work is easy work. You get people do it for you, yeah? Yeah, who asked you? Wait, so what she done with Candace? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Size 10. The owner's footprints were shallow.
Right. Same for now.
Size 10. The heels are sinking into the ground. Look here, Doctor. 2 sets of footprints left by the same person, yet they vary in depth. What do you conclude?
Perhaps they arrived empty-handed, but left carrying something heavy.
Precisely. I'll make a detective of you yet, Watson.
Blood. Fingers.
These fingers were severed with a single clean stroke, but I don't see the thumb or middle finger. Luxurious shoes, size 9. Look, Watson. Animal prints. I wonder what kind. Boots, size 10. Arneson's signet ring, as we saw in his portrait. A scrap of silk, soft and elegant.
We must stop this, Holmes. All these atrocities.
More boot prints. It's almost a piece of art. My princess, my love, my heart. Fitting words. Well, isn't that interesting? Hello again, Lucy.
Arrow. So, hold on.
Davy, we know that Ashmat is responsible for what happened here. We must catch him and hold him accountable. I know that you are scared, but you are also the only one who can help us. I believe Mr. Arneson showed you a cryptic telegram that was sent to Ashmat. You are an impressive boy with a phenomenal memory. Can you tell us the contents of that message? Thank you, Davy. Watson, please copy down everything he writes.
We still have to find Arneson. After all we have learnt, I fear for his fate.
No way in.
We must put an end to all this evil, and I doubt we can count on the sheriff's help.
Angels, sirs. All y'all lacking is a pair of wings.
No sign of a boat.
We must put an end to all this evil, and I doubt we can count on the sheriff's help.
More boot prints.
We must put an end to all this evil, and I doubt we can count on the sheriff's help.
Got a spot in mind.
New Orleans port, and quickly.
Innocents slaughtered, a woman lynched, a boy forever traumatized. I fear we've crossed the Rubicon, Holmes.
Davy is resilient, much like Eula. They will overcome this.
You're right, but I worry this portends far worse for us. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes?
Who's your friend, Frank? We love a new face, and his is particularly lovely.
Johnny boy, so how was it with Champagne?
Most enlightening, thank you. And now my friend Mr. Holmes would like to talk to you too.
Well, ain't you something? What can I do for you?
I'm afraid I bring bad tidings.
How bad?
It concerns your significant other, Arneson.
Arneson? Now, who said we were lovebirds?
Lucy, we only mean to help. No word of the matter shall spread.
What are you implying? That ain't making no sense. Won't be making friends around here if you keep that up.
Lucy, we only mean to help. No word of the matter shall spread. The man in this letter seemed ready to declare his feelings for you. Sounds like he was more than a client.
It's part of the job. Men can say weird things when they think they're in love. Don't see what you're getting at. Won't be making friends around here if you keep that.
Lucy, we only mean to help. No word of... The man in this letter seemed ready to declare his feelings. This photo of you and Mr. Arneson suggests the feelings were reciprocated.
Looking interested when with the client is part of the job, Mr. Holmes. I don't even remember the man.
You mean to say you take pictures with everyone?
If they ask nicely. And pay.
One moment, I need to look over some things. Lucy, we only mean to help. No word of... The man in this letter seemed ready to declare his... This photo of you and Mr. Arneson suggests... Arneson definitely paid for a ring in your size inscribed, "My princess, my love, my heart. It is for you." Arneson was going to propose marriage. The facts are clear. You know Mr. Arneson and perhaps even love him back. Regardless, he has been abducted. His life is hanging in the balance. Please, help me save him.
Oh my Errol! What have you gotten yourself into? I didn't want to believe this could happen.
Lucy, Lucy. What do you know? Could it have been the sheriff?
I don't know, John. This town has darkness in it. Errol and me, we had plans, dreams. We wanted to make this place better for all the folk who live here. Errol had grown suspicious of Ashmat, thought he was acting odd. He brought up the bayou. I told him to leave it all alone. The water's there. They swallow everyone.
You mean the alligators?
No. It's local legend. The bayou's dangerous. Any visitor that sees Death's messengers, they die.
These messengers, are they abstract or a landmark?
They're white lilies. You see a path with them flowers, you turn around.
All right, Watson. We must find someone to take us to the bayou.
Lucy, you have our thanks. We will go and look for Arneson.
Who on earth would harm Errol?
At least the weather is on our side.
both look tired. Lucky we have ways to lift your spirits.
Hopefully we won't stumble upon the sheriff. Perhaps when this is over, we can try the Louisiana cuisine.
Yeah, I did.
Hello again, and thank you. Your last tip proved extremely useful.
Don't mention it, Cher. Champagne ain't one for trickery. Now, if you need more help...
As it happens, we need to take a short trip through the bayou into the nearby swamp. Of course, you'd receive fair compensation.
It's almost dusk, and only fools go into that swamp at night. Come back tomorrow. Champagne will take you down.
That will not do. We must go now. It is of grave importance.
I won't take you. But if you're crazy enough to go, I'll sell you the boat.
Wouldn't you know it, I came across a bottle of your namesake. Will that be enough for a boat?
It's warm. The bottle's dirty. But we got a deal. I'll even lend you this rifle. If you're going into the swamp, you'll need it.
One last favor. The boat that we came on is to leave tomorrow for Europe. Would you kindly relay a message to the crew for us? We may need them to hold their departure till 8 in the morning.
Of course.
I think we'll continue this tomorrow. Could probably finish this game tomorrow, get the platinum too. This is an amazing game. Wow. What time is it? 1:58.
At least in Afghanistan, we had nippy nights.
It makes one yearn for rainy London.
This place, Champagne, did not mince words about it.
Keep your wits about you, Watson. We are inching closer to the heart of this mystery, however dark it may be. Hell's bells!
I told you to stay away, Doctor.
That he did, Holmes.
I rule these parts. No hiding from me here.
No case goes cold on my watch!
Settle down, boys. Our friends are as good as gone.
This is it, Watson. Our moment of truth.
Holmes, do you believe the sheriff? That we won't escape?
One cannot be hurt by superstition, Watson. This hut has been abandoned for a long time.
It reeks of damp. We're more likely to sink in there than on our boat. Let's go. Shall we investigate the area? Bookhomes! Fireflies!
You're rowing like a professional, Watson.
University of London Boat Club. Silver medalist, sailing 74. Holmes.
Whatever, or whoever it was, we should ready ourselves. Am I hearing drums?
Drums in the bayou? Holmes, I think I heard something swim underneath our boat.
Probably just a rotten log.
Did you hear that, Holmes? What do you see?
A shadow. Nothing more.
If you told me when I binned your paper that we'd end up fleeing the law in a rowboat through the Louisiana bayou...
I dare say you would have hardly been surprised. is getting thicker, almost suffocating.
The stench of death. All too familiar now. Weeks of death. We're more likely to sink in there than on our boat.
Careful of the gators, Watson. It is stupidity rather than privileged.
Weeks of damp. We're more likely to sink in there than on our boat. Let's go. I'll watch the bio while you search the place.
Oh, what?
Holmes, hand me the rifle. I can shoot the ropes holding a few...
Watson, stay calm, but be quick. An alligator has noticed us.
That's vicious.
That's nature, Watson. Let's try not to annoy her.
Sign of arson. If not, let's push on. Any sign of arson? If not, let's push on.
That pier looks promising. Over there, Watson.
We're approaching the heart of darkness. This place gives me the shivers, despite the muggy night.
Footprints left by a crowd of shackled prisoners. Ashmat dragged Arneson here. smell of burning flesh, just horrific.
Keep
A
away from
fiery
it. Focus on our
gathering of
task,
passions
so
and
we may soon leave all this behind.
Thankfully, it's not Arneson. This is not Arneson, just another unfortunate soul. Thankfully, Arneson isn't among the dead. The hand tied here was bleeding in 4 places. This had to have been Arneson. Days old and rotten. Damp and mouldy hay. The prisoners were kept like animals, slowly deteriorating under the gruesome treatment. The blood is dry. The axe has not been used for some time. A simple rope. The wood is swamp cypress, endemic to the area. This is how those poor people were crucified. A heavy weight scored impressions in the ground 1 inch deep. The initials EA are embroidered with silk thread. The prisoner's clothes tossed aside. The bloody handprint on this stone lacks 4 fingers. The victim's left hand clawed at the soil. Sunken heels, the result of dragging a heavy body. That's a lot of blood, but probably not enough to be fatal. Both ends of the rope were cut cleanly. The captive was dragged through hell. Blood was poured over someone, leaving a gruesome silhouette. Bowls filled with blood. A worn blade, but clean and without blood.
I should be glad we're out of the water, but I'm not.
The tracks lead behind the stone slab. Only this indentation was spared from blood. Arneson was held captive in this cage until his abductors tied him to a cross and dragged him to the bonfire. Arneson was left hanging here for a while before being freed and led to the altar. At the altar, Arneson's captors performed a ritual on him and poured blood over his head. With Arneson now prepared, he was escorted to the sealed entrance. They used the mechanism with an indentation to open the passage.
If only the sheriff was kind and cooperative, our search for Arneson would be far simpler.
Heavy and covered in blood.
Darn it. Something is wrong with my lantern. Give me a minute.
I won't wait for you. I'm going in.
It's nothing, Holmes. I'll join you in a minute.
Woe betide those who take it. Walk away. What?
Not again.
Let the unknown be.
That's human skin and still warm. What's happening? Deja vu, and not in a pleasant way. And now, axes? What on earth for? It is glowing, but why? There's that glow again. thought that was all. I can't take any more.
At last, the lantern's working again. Holmes, I'm coming. Holmes? What are you doing, sitting in a place like this?
How did you get here? How did you get through the maze? Tell me, Watson.
What maze? I walked straight up to you. You saw me.
Do not lie to me, John. How did you get out?
Sherlock, what happened? Are you feeling all... Oh, heavens. Is that Arneson? Why didn't you mention him? Stay put. I must check if he is alive.
I just need a second, John.
I need to focus on Arneson.
The unknown. Beckoning.
I should examine him before he has another seizure. Severed fingers, the wounds are inflamed. Blunt trauma to the cranium, dilated pupils, lips moving without a sound. Cold sweat. 2, no, 3 ribs fractured. Pulse is racing, 110 beats a minute. Arneson is delirious after all he's endured. We can't get him to the boat in a state like that. It's dangerous to us and him. Pokeweed berries, though they appear harmless, the whole plant is lethal. Pharmacopoeia, listing drugs, effects, and directions. Some kind of amanita mushroom. Extremely poisonous. Odorless, watery, and hard to identify. Please tell me there are no wheels inside, Arneson. This is Dwale, induces sleep and relaxation. Salvia divinora, provokes visual hallucinations. A gluey decoction. The smell is herby but sharp. It appears burnt, judging by the color. Hard to tell what it says.
The walls are spinning. Let me catch my breath.
I wonder what this language is. I wonder what this language is. The nightmares these poor souls had to endure. I can't decipher that text.
His language is so.
This should help soothe Arneson.
I need some fresh air.
Yes, please go. I'll be right behind you with Arneson. Perhaps you can prepare the boat.
Me festering soul and let me feel. Free me festering soul and let me feel. Eyes without purpose and now see the truth. Tear me mind from me flesh, score me festering soul. Phantoms of nothing, we are born to die. Filth in the eyes of our eldritch lord.
Free my festering soul and let me feel.
Oh, please. I wish to return. Free me, let me return. Free me and rejoice.
Eyes without purpose, I now see the truth. Tear my mind from my flesh.
Holmes, are you all right? Here, let me help.
I'm fine.
Holmes? Sherlock! What the hell were you doing? He almost killed you.
I don't... You're right. Let's go, Watson.
Bon Dieu! Still among the living.
We are, though not for lack of trying by the sheriff.
Well, he'd been telling people you died in the swamp despite his trying to save you. Crooked man. Through and through. Wait, is that Mr. Arneson?
Yes, but he's not well. You know Lucy?
Belle from the Nymph? That I do.
Please bring her here. Mr. Arneson needs to see a familiar face if he's to have any chance of surviving.
Power of the heart. I get you. Wait here. Reckon we should give him space. Farewells are painful.
No, tell me that's not true.
Watson?
Mr. Arneson has endured a lot. Lost 4 fingers, a lot of blood, and some of his sanity. But with rest and tender care, he ought to survive those injuries, both physical and mental.
Thank you, Johnny. I'll take care of him. Thank you for bringing him home to me. We'll be all right.
Are you quite certain? Do you have the space? The resources?
I will stay with him at the mansion. It is not a burden to take care of your love.
His property is in quite a state. It may not be the best place for recuperation.
Hush now. Champagne will see it sorted.
Then it's settled. Hear that, Errol? Us living under one roof. Careful what you wish for. Oh, and Champagne? I'm about sick of watching that sheriff run riot through New Orleans. We ought to talk.
Funny. I was just thinking that grub did nothing to save your man. Together, I reckon you, me, and Errol have the sway to make some changes round here.
I like the sound of that.
Holmes, our boat.
Oh, we must make haste. Farewell all. Take care. Who's there?
Who do you think?
Let it be known that I'm handy with this revolver.
Nonsense, Dr. Watson. As I understand it, when faced with the imperative to defend oneself, one's comrades, and one's nation, you fled. Aren't you going to introduce us, Sherlock?
Watson, meet my brother Mycroft, Queen's best boy. This is a grim augury indeed, for wherever Mycroft travels, tedium surely follows.
In contrast, of course, to Sherlock, a man whose obsessive pursuit of the trivial tears through the most carefully laid plans like a hurricane. Do you have any idea what you have disrupted?
Your ego is inflated as much as your waistband. What word comes to mind?
You work for the government?
International trade is a delicate beast. Your antics and Edelweiss have jeopardized one of the Crown's richest relationships.
Oh dear. As rich as all the butter you've been slathering on your bread?
We need your help.
What?
There is evil afoot. Strangeness and savagery like I have never seen. Something otherworldly festering in the dark beyond our reach. We have seen things that defy explanation. Mystic forces, magic. You must help us.
It's true.
The British government does not invest its resources in the insane or intoxicated. Pull yourself together.
I know men like you. Men like you grease palms, whisper in ears, start wars, and you send men like me to die in them. You and the rest of your corpulent cronies.
Ha! Corpulent! That was it.
Interesting, Sherlock. But as you again drift away from sanity, you find yourself another John.
All right, so the choice is made.
I beg your pardon?
There is only us. We cannot run from this problem. I shall take the book and Davy's cryptic message to Barnes. See what he makes of it.
As you were, Watson. Do what you must.
I'll do what I must tomorrow. Right. Oh my goodness. 3 hours and 41 minutes.